Some time ago, I was working in a prison, doing community service and providing psychological support to the inmates. Every day I held sessions and talks with them, trying to help them endure the confinement and giving them therapy so they could reintegrate into society. However, there was one inmate who changed the way I saw and felt everything that went on in the minds of those poor souls. During that period, the prison population grew exponentially, and there were prisoners who belonged to different factions of organized crime. The inmate I'll call Martín was a very strange young man, completely lacking in emotion. He belonged to a drug cartel, and he'd been captured during a firefight in which several of his companions were killed by the army. Over time, through our conversations, I gained his trust, and he began to tell me a terrible story, how high his position was and what he did within the organization. He was a hitman and a butcher. His mission was to kill and dismember rival enemies, to send a message of power and reach from the cartel. His character was reserved. All the time, he seemed alert, like he was constantly waiting for something to happen. In one of our sessions, he told me that some demons wouldn't leave him in peace. They tormented him with terrifying nightmares every night. In his dreams, he saw himself sinking in a great lake. Its waters were blood and excrement, and violent demons tormented the thousands of souls trapped there. Sometimes, he could see those demons between the shadows. He felt their presence very close. He described himself as an extremely bad man, capable of inflicting pain and fear. He had no feelings and no pity. One day, he and his fellow criminals captured a rival and took him to a ranch, a place where they disposed of the captured and their enemies. The man they had taken was peculiar. He showed no fear at any moment. He didn't beg, and he didn't do what they wanted. He was calm, and he smiled in a sinister, defiant way. They tortured him, and he never stopped smiling. But the horror of the killing was surpassed by something even stranger. When they began to dismember him, Martín hacked off his limbs with an axe. When they began to decapitate him, both Martín and the other hitmen were horrified as the captive started to cackle. A demonic laugh came from that headless, mutilated body. Even the torso appeared to be pulling in air just to keep the laughter going. With fear and desperation from having to hear that unbearable, terrifying laugh, they started chopping at the torso, trying to finish him. Killing him was difficult, until finally, between meat and organs, whatever was causing the laughter stopped. That event changed Martín forever. His co-workers were massacred, by rivals or by the police. He survived, but after that, his life and he himself had been changed. He felt afraid all the time. He waited for death every day, and he saw the devil every night. I can't describe to you what I felt when he told me that story. I pictured every detail and every moment he described, like I was living it myself. Somehow, the fear followed me for a long time. It kept me awake at night, trapped by panic at the unknown. I felt surrounded by shadows that I swore came alive, moving in to hunt me. And worst of all, when I was alone, I could hear a laugh nearby. In the end,